What is up, besties? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. For those of you that are my regulars, I am not on camera today just because between client readings and me reading Pathrita piles, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I've just been burnt out a lot. But don't worry, besties. I got all weekend to sit in the grass and stare at birds and squirrels, and I'm going to have a great weekend. So you will see me again on Monday. But we are going to take a look today at Britney. By the time that this is out, you'll see the timestamps and what it is I've covered. But from right now, I'm going to cover basically what Spirit wants us to know. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you. I'm going to list in the description box below related videos to this because I know that Britney was recently seen with, oh God, what was his name? Soliz, something like that. Shit, what was his name? I can't remember. I know his last name's like Soliz or something, but I did do a reading on him a while ago, and he's actually a pretty solid person for Britney. So when I found out the news about the whole ambulance call and he's a part of it, that seems like she at least has someone on her side. But what I want to do is basically just an overview of how Britney's feeling and then whatever she wants us to really know about. So whether that's the settlement, whether that's what happened during the ambulance, whether that's her feelings in general. I know there was some rumors that she's feuding with her sister too. So we're just going to see all things Britney, all alleged, all for entertainment purposes only. And let's begin. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you guys can fill in any blanks where my brain has not Googled, because that would take me way too much time, feel free to leave it in the comments so that I can understand. And always remember to vote in the community post so that you guys can pick the videos for next week especially. All right, let's see. Where's Britney at emotionally? Let's check this out. Oh, that's not good. Wait a second. Okay. All right, I'm getting a double message. So okay, I don't know if everybody is tuned into the latest Britney Spears controversy about an ambulance getting called. I could see this, unfortunately, reading two different ways. With Parasite, she might have been under the influence. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. She's a grown-ass woman. And it would give me more the vibe of, like, alcohol than anything else. I don't think she's doing anything wild. But my issue is, when I do conspiracy readings, Today for Tomorrow and Hiding Your True Self is usually a card about a body double. Or if you want to get as far into conspiracy, I don't really know where I personally stand with this, but if you're into the theory of clones, you could go with that, I guess. But for me, this is kind of like, I'm confused because she did post that Instagram status and took it down where she's like, you guys know that there's always body doubles. And if we've learned anything, it's that she'll post something and then delete it. And then she'll post something that's a watered down version after the fact. So it's like she has a moment of emotions and then she removes it. And then she'll put something a little less watered down. So with the post, she originally said, that wasn't even me. It was a body double. But then later on, she took it back and she said that her mom must have called the cops. Without hiding your true self, something's definitely going on. Britney's hiding something, especially with Is This Me? Like, I really hate to say this. I really, really hate to say this, but this is a spread that would read like it was a body double. But I just don't, I don't know that I personally buy that. Because why was, what's his name, Paul? Soliz, I think that's his name. I'm so sorry. I'm going to link the video in the description that I did of their dynamic. But this could also read like okay. All right. So maybe if you do believe that it's potentially possible that it was a body double of Britney, go for it, because with these cards, that is a possibility. However, the more realistic option that I can now see from this would be like embarrassment, because I don't want people to see the real me. And if we've learned anything, it's that Britney felt like she was not in control and she felt like she couldn't be herself. And we've seen that she doesn't want people to have basically any idea of who she really is, because people always picked at her and people always, you know, they judge her, and it's always the frontline story. No matter what she does, she's broken. You know what I mean? So I could also see this being like having a fun night and doing something that we regret. And it's not even that deep. It would be like, you know what they're drawing me to? So I almost wonder if she's telling the truth about the ankle. Because, like, not to put out my own shit here, but spirits bring it to my attention. Back in my drinking days, I got really drunk and I was wearing flip-flops and I fell down the stairs and I sprained my ankle. And her conversation now is that the paramedics were called because of her ankle. So if I'm being drawn to my situation, I kind of think that might actually be the truth. I think that maybe she was being kind of drunk and reckless and partying, but I'm not judging her for that because she never got to do that. So you have to understand, if you were a parentified child, then chances are you missed your 20s. So a lot of times people in their adulthood will gaslight themselves and be like, oh, I'm too old for this, or I shouldn't want to do this. But in reality, it's your soul going, hey, we skipped a chapter. Let's go back and enjoy that chapter. Like, for instance, with me, I'm also a parentified child. So I really got into old school 90s stuff. I'm really into that because it just brings something back to me. I feel like right now Britney might be in a party phase, but I don't feel that it's necessarily problematic. I think if this was a daily thing, then this is something that we should be concerned about, but this is almost giving me more like, yeah, because I'm being drawn to like rom-coms where women wake up the next day and they're like, oh no, I ended up with this dude. So it's possible that she slept with somebody. That's possible, but it's giving me more of like embarrassment because of what I did when I was drunk. That's more the vibe of this. Because today for tomorrow is kind of giving me the vibe of like, I don't know why, but I'm being drawn to like a neuroscientist that I follow where basically alcohol is you taking tomorrow's happy reserves today, which is giving me the vibe of like, I used tomorrow's happiness today with the alcohol and now I have remorse for the day after. Yeah, because with Is This Me, it's like, oh no. Like my perfect reputation. I feel like Britney feels the need to continue this good girl, everybody loves me, I'm perfect. And it's not from a place of like these other celebrities I read where it's like, gotta be perfect, gotta grind, gotta be a billionaire. No, it's like, I want people to see who I really am. I am not a monster, but I'm traumatized. And so I am gonna do things a little out of character for me, but it's simply because I'm trying to figure out who the fuck I am. Is This Me is very telling to me. I don't think Britney knows who she is. What I'm seeing is her trying on different outfits. It's giving me the vibe of like, and this is just an example, obviously. This is like, I'm seeing like a high school thing. It's like, am I a goth? All right, let me try goth. No, that doesn't work for me. Am I prissy? All right, let me try the prissy look. No, that doesn't work for me. Am I a rocker? Like, it's almost like she's trying on personalities to see what best fits her. Britney right now is living in her 20s. That's the only way I know how to describe this energy. She's taking her life back by living in her 20s. I do feel like chances are there was alcohol involved because I just keep being drawn back to situations in my past where cops were accidentally called and emotions were flying because alcohol was involved. I can't get that out of my head. So I do feel like I don't buy that was a body double. I don't. Maybe that was her way of having like because I'm hearing Brene Brown. I'm in a shame shitstorm. I think she's embarrassed because here's the thing. And I can totally relate to Britney with this energy. When people have told you your whole fucking life that you're broken, that you're emotional, that you're unhinged, that you can't take care of yourself, then you're going to always be on the defense, even when you know you're not doing anything wrong, because you're ready and waiting for the fight that you know will always come. I mean, look, Is This Me? She's literally holding a dagger. She's ready to fight. So for Britney, it's like, I have to be perfect because any little bit, because look at this, like she had a moment at a hotel and now it's all over the news. But what I'm reading is just like I got drunk and oopsie. You know what I mean? But it's a big thing because it's Britney and she's concerned and it's triggering her because it's like, well, who's after me? Who's out to get me? Who's trying to take me down now? This girl doesn't know how to have fun because her fun, first of all, she was never allowed to have fun. But then when she did, it was always propped up on TMZ by her father, or Lou M. Taylor is what I'm hearing in my mind, allegedly in front of entertainment purposes, only zero facts here. I'm sure Lou's a lovely person. But it's just kind of giving me the vibe of someone who's got PTSD. It's like, it's reminding me of a child that like, they're afraid of pissing off their parents, so they'll lie, and the lie is honestly worse than telling the truth. That's kind of what Britney's giving. She's trying to relive her 20s, the years in which you can have fun and you can feel free, but she also has that emotional stunting because she never got to grow up. But she's parentified, but her inner child never got to be developed properly. And so this is why she feels like people are out to get her. And to an extent, she's right, because look at what's happened. But I don't feel like this is necessarily the case. I mean, I'm sure someone leaked some shit. We can try to look into that. But this just feels like getting drunk, having fun, and oops. You know, I can't stop being drawn. And listen, to those that follow me, y'all know my history. My 20s were a lot of alcohol, a lot of depression, and a lot of bad mistakes, a lot of bad choices. And I'm just kind of seeing that with Britney. But it's almost like, I don't know, I feel a sense of peace knowing that Mr. Solis, or whatever his name is, I feel a sense of peace that he was involved in this, because I don't feel like he's, you know what this is kind of giving me? I wouldn't be shocked if she ends up talking to him or dating him or something like that, because I felt a connection the last time I read them. I think that he would be very... It's kind of the vibe of like he's very humble, and it's just like, I just want to be here to protect you. I believe the last time I looked up his sign, he was a Taurus, because I remember being like, this makes sense, the soft, nurturing energy, slow burn. When you're an evolved Taurus, it's a really nurturing energy. But I think for Britney right now, it's just like, no matter what I do, everybody's out to get me. I think it triggered her because it feels like I was having a good time doing some things that I don't usually do, that people would go, okay, you're too old for this, you're too old for that, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, she skipped those years. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I feel like this was a drunk night gone wrong. That's what this feels like. I can't, guys, like, I'm going to make this really quick. Feel free to roll forward 10 seconds if you really can't. But I am being drawn explicitly to this night. Like, literally, this is why I feel so strongly that the ankle thing is probably the truth. I'm being drawn to a weekend that I went with my friends to a hotel room, and I got stupid drunk, and my flip-flop got caught on a stair, and then I sprained my ankle. I can't get that out of my head. So I feel like the story's true. The problem is, the reason Britney kind of spirals is because anytime any negative press comes out about her, she feels like she has to defend her existence. And that's why she's getting triggered. I think that's why she originally said body doubles, because it's like, she feels like a little kid that's tired of being yelled at. That's what that is. It's a trauma response. She's still trying to figure out who she is. I'm being drawn to the yellow on this card and the yellow there. It's like, I'm trying to, with my solar plexus chakra, I'm trying to strengthen my sense of self. I'm trying to figure out who I am. But I think when she originally made that post, it was like, she was really in her emotion. She was probably still drunk or coming down from the alcohol or something like that. And that's probably why she deleted it and then went to the rounds of like, maybe it was my mom or something like that. And that's because everybody's always out to get bad press on Britney. But this feels to me, if I'm being real with you guys, it feels like a stupid drunken moment. It doesn't feel anything over the top. If anything, I wouldn't be shocked that the media is just weaponizing this as another means of saying, oh, Britney Spears is mentally ill. But I just don't see it. I just see someone who's been traumatized trying to figure out who the hell they are and what makes them happy. And that's exactly what you should be doing if you've been traumatized. So I don't see an issue there. But let's dive into, let's start with the settlement, and we'll go from there.
Happy Friday.
I don't know if you just heard my Alexa. Actually, it's Ziggy. It's not Alexa. I just want to make sure that I had Britney Spears' father's birthday, because y'all, the way I don't look shit up. But if I did, I would be biased, and I don't want to do that. So I'd rather not know shit. That, and guys, I really don't have the time nor energy to be Googling shit. So that's why I really appreciate you guys filling in the gaps. But as always, thank you to everybody who sits through 30 seconds of ads. Like this video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to have you here. But let's see about the settlement with her father. Oh. I think she just wanted this done, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's almost giving me the vibe of like, you've already taken everything. I just want you out of my life. Like, I don't want you getting anything from me. it's giving me the vibe of like, I have nothing left emotionally for you. Like, I just want this chapter over. Like, I wouldn't even be shocked if she gave him more money than he deserved, because it's just kind of giving me, like, I just keep hearing, bye, Felicia. It's like, I just want you out of my life. Like, you emotionally deplete me. You make me feel like I'm crazy. You make me feel like I don't matter. You make me feel like I'm just a workhorse. You're not a good father. You're not a good person. I think she battles that. Like, is she religious or something? Because, like, I do feel that, I mean, she's a Sagittarius, so mutable energy, because she goes back and forth where it's like, I think that Britney Spears is your stereotypical empath that hasn't been empowered, because she really does empathize with people that she should kick to the curb. I do feel like she's probably an empath, which is probably why she's super sensitive and then feels like the world's out to get her. I think that's why a lot of us can resonate with Britney. But I think for her, it was just like, I'm so tired of this being out in the public. I'm so tired of people talking about it. I'm so tired of talking about my father. I'm so tired, period. I also think with the Four of Swords here, along with I want to break from you, I don't want to be involved in you, this is kind of reminding me of like, life is too short. And I'm being drawn to how her father was having medical issues. So I think she's trying to be the person. But yeah, because it's reminding me of my dad. Because my dad has health issues. And I wish he would be what I needed. But at the end of the day, I still pray for him. I still want him to get better. That's kind of the vibe that I'm feeling from Britney. I swear to God, this girl is so relatable. Where it's like, even though you did me dirty, even though it's not really forgivable to an extent, that's not going to take me out of my energy. That's not going to make me... It's kind of giving me the vibe of like, you know, when someone's toxic, you could decide to act like them because you can't get over it, and then it ends up, you know, infesting you. Whereas Britney's almost like, I'm learning from this so that it's not something that I become. Because, like, notice how my voice seems very calm right now. It's almost like Britney's just trying to be like, I just want to figure out who I am. I just want to have fun. I want to live my life. I want to get all the years that I lost, all the time wasted. And so for her, it's like, if I got to throw a couple $100K at my father, if I have to give him some shit in order to get my life free, then I'm willing to do that. And on top of it, it kind of gives me the vibe also, like, karma already came for you. So even though I am going to have moments where I hate you and I have things to say, at the end of the day, I'm not like you. I don't need to beat a horse when it's already down. You know what I mean? And I think that's where her headspace is. It's like, the karma is losing me. The karma is you're not making money off your daughter anymore. The karma is you lost your daughter. So she's not a petty, vengeful type of person. And that's why she has those moments where she flips out on social media, but then she deletes it because she has like remorse about that. It's very like, I'm having emotions. They're overwhelming me. I need to get it out. But then she'll calm down and then she'll be like, oh my God, I'm being really dramatic. But in reality, she's not. She's just letting her emotions out. I mean, this is a very relatable energy. I think she was also just worried about how much time this was going to take. And it was just like, how much money can I give you to go away? That's kind of the vibe of this. Yeah, it's like, what do I got to do to make sure that you never have any financial pull over me? If I have to throw one last chump change at you to get rid of you, then I'm fine with it. So I wouldn't be shocked if the settlement was Britney kind of, because I'm hearing like 60-40. So I wouldn't be shocked if like she buckled down on some things that she wanted, but I feel like she might have given her father like money to survive, money to pay for, you know, health issues and stuff like that, because her heart is just so big. It's like, you could do me dirty 50 times over, but at the end of the day, my character is what matters, which is why everybody hates when Britney gets dragged, because she's a light worker. She's an empath. Like, to anybody that's spiritual, this chick's an earth angel. She is a living embodiment and proof that no matter what happens to you, it's up to you and the choices you make to either turn lemonades into lemon, or to start taking the lemons that people gave to you and squirting it into others' eyes and then continuing the process of trauma. She's a really great example of being the bigger person. And I just feel like for her, it was just like, it was a no-brainer. I'll pay you whatever you want. Just get away from me. Yeah. I don't feel like this was something where she didn't get her justice. I feel like she is happy with the results. I don't think she wanted to give her dad as much money as she probably did. But with this, it's like, let me give... Oh my God, Spirit, say it again. Something about the goose and the gander. I forget how that fucking, I can't think when I'm channeling. Something about the goose and the gander. If someone knows that, please let me know in the comments. But it's giving me the vibe of like, if I throw money at you today, this stops my problems forever. It's almost like maybe her dad was begging her for extra money. It's kind of giving me the vibe of him being like, but honey, I have all these bills. I have no leg. I have all these health issues. What am I supposed to do? And I could see Britney being like, you fucking selfish piece of shit. Whatever. Like, take all the money you need. I don't care. At least that I can go to sleep at night knowing that I tried to help my father. I'm the bigger person. I'm the better person. Take this money, but leave me the fuck alone. For her, it was just like, I want this to be done with. So I think in the end, she feels like she did get her justice. He was old Cancer, yeah. See, this is why I felt the need to bring up that she's got too big a heart sometimes. I feel like part of the reason she gave him the money, because this is him, and the intuition's blocked. So it's her just kind of just being an overgiver per usual. I think she feels like her father might have emotionally matured since what went down. I disagree. I think life just hit him over and over again, and now he doesn't have the type of energy, strength, connections in order to treat his daughter like shit. But I feel like she gaslit herself into believing that her father is changing. Yeah, because I'm hearing the song, because of you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. So she might also be turning this into like a... Yeah, because I'm hearing... My weakness caused you pain, and the song's My Sorry. She's very self-reflective. It's like she has a knowing that it takes two regardless of the problem. Like, for instance, a relationship where there's an anxious attachment versus emotionally avoidant. You could blame the emotionally avoidant because that's going to be the one that does the most damage. But anxiously attached people, they're kind of failing the relationship too. They might mean well, but they're codependent and clingy, and they're not seeing the red flags. They're kind of going right through and past them. That's kind of the vibe with Britney. It's like, I think she wants a father, and that's understandable. And I think because he's kind of brittle now and he can't hurt her, it's almost her brain's kind of going, oh, well, he's kind of growing now. Yeah, because I'm hearing the song, Watch Out something, I'm grown now. I don't remember the song. I'm so sorry. It's hard when I'm channeling. So I am a little bit concerned that she still just has way too much empathy for her father, because he's still showing up as a knight. He's not showing up as a king. So I wouldn't even be shocked if, like, after this is over, he tries to create a relationship with her, but it's really just to have somebody give a shit, take care of him and stuff like that. So just keep an eye out for that, because... like, I just keep having, what's his name? Chris Crocker, I think, where he goes, leave Britney alone. Like, literally, yes, I agree with that, because she's just trying to, like, I'm hearing Stella's got her groove back. She's just trying to find herself. Yeah, I think she had to shell out some coin she didn't want to shell out for the greater good. Yeah, because it's like, I don't want to keep being stuck in, like, I'm hearing the word deposition. I don't think that's the right word, but it's kind of giving me the vibe of, like, legal proceedings. I think that her father would have continued to drag this shit out until he was satisfied. It's giving me, like, an ugly divorce separation where it's like, but I want the house, and it's out of spite. So I think that she had to get out of her comfort zone and shell out some coin in order to be done with this. So she did get a hit in terms of finances, but if you were to ask her, I think she'd be like, I mean, you guys ever had someone super fucking toxic in your life and you probably would spend some coin to get them away? Like, that's kind of the vibe here. I don't really think there's much else to say. Yeah, shelling out money so I can detach from toxic. Yeah. But I'm hearing her song, I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that your love is toxic? So I do think that she still has this, she's just too loving. She has this, like, I wouldn't be shocked if, like, she has a, I don't think it'll be right now, but eventually in the future, like, as her father's, like, nearing his deathbed, I could see her getting involved and, like, honestly, I respect it, you know, giving forgiveness, because at the end of the day, you want to be the bigger person. I respect it. I'm just afraid that he'll, you know, do any last-ditch attempts to hurt her on his way out, but I don't know. I think this really kind of helped her set herself free, which is probably why she was in that hotel room getting crazy. Because it's like, oh my God, now I can feel like myself. I mean, y'all know my age. I'm 32. Do I dress and act that way? No, because age is a state of mind. Yeah, I think she knew that in order for her to be happy, she needed to disconnect from people that just don't serve her anymore. All the people outside that are from her past life, it's like, I just need to let it go. And if I can let it go, then I can move on and have a life that's actually going to bring me joy. And notice how there's an inner child here. And I'm not saying, I think her drinking was her kind of getting involved with her inner child. It was her finding a way to have fun. I just don't think that this is something that was problematic. I think she got drunk. I think she got embarrassed. I think she probably did hurt her ankle, because I haven't thought about that story, that embarrassing story of that my ankle was, ooh. So I believe her. I do. Anything else about this, spirit? Yeah, I feel like for her, it was like, maybe if I let this go, we could have a bond again in the future. But, yeah. With Ten of Swords being reversed, I'm almost a little bit concerned about that, because that's a message of self-sabotage. So she needs to be careful here, because I could almost see her being like, now that he doesn't have financial control over me, maybe we can have a relationship. But I think she's just ignoring the fact that her dad doesn't give a fuck. Because it's just like, now that I'm successful and he has no control over that, maybe we can start over. Because maybe he'll see things from a different perspective. We're both grown and we're both, you know, it's like time is of the essence is kind of the vibe. But Britney, he's not as evolved as you. Like, I think you're going to get hurt doing that. Anything else? Yeah, she didn't want to be tied to the past anymore. 6 of Cups, 8 of Swords. I feel like I'm trapped. I don't want to feel like I'm trapped anymore. The options that I have aren't the best ones, but in order for me to move forward, I might have to bend so that I don't break. Do you see what I'm saying? So I kind of, yeah, out of my comfort zone. This is a difficult transition, but in order to stop being so angry and move forward, then I have to get out of my comfort zone and I have to meet some of your needs. So I think that chances are he got more money than he deserved, because I just seeing Britney being like, I just want to wipe my hands of this. I mean, she literally came up as a Queen of Cups in reverse. This girl has nothing left. Like, her heart is broken. But let's take a look at the whole, what's his face? The ex, and go from there. Sam Asghari. The way his name just doesn't matter anymore. All right, so now for Mr. Sam Asghari, let's see if we can figure out why the divorce happened and what happened with the settlement, because I'm seeing that she was abusive to him and blah blah blah, but it's on TMZ, so needless to say, bullshit probably. So why did it end? Okay, well, I could tell you there was an unequal give and take, but from who? Him. Again, this is just another, like, yeah, I don't buy that she was abusive and that. No, like, from what I saw, I'll just Google my Britney Spears, or not Google, YouTube my Britney Spears readings if I forget to connect them. I should remember in the description box by the time this is posted. But this is giving me the vibe of, again, Britney wanting to throw money at a problem so that she could disconnect from it. Because this would be the marriage, which is the 6 of Pentacles, and it's reversed. So it's like, I want to detach, especially with the devil in reverse. I think, again, just like I was feeling earlier, Britney wants to figure out who she is. I feel like every time I look at their energy, I see Kim and Pete, which is my, like, I'm using this for fun, not a long time. I was never convinced that she was in love with this guy. It almost just, it's kind of giving me like Benny Blanco, Travis Kelce, like just another opportunist. It doesn't mean he wasn't into her, but he knew that he was going to get some sort of fame, because have we heard about him since? You know what I mean? But I don't see anything here about, it seems like if anything was toxic, it was just being together. Because this is like, you don't make me feel like I'm abundant. I almost wonder if she started to get the ick because he reminded her of his dad. I don't think he was as controlling. I don't think that he could have been controlling. I don't think she's in a place where she would allow that. But it's kind of giving me the vibe of, you want my money, you move because of money, you're an opportunist. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune in my mind, and it's like, she might have gotten the ick because it was just familiar. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, because Spirit's drawing me to a dude that dated that smelt just like my father. And it was really fucking weird. It's kind of giving me that vibe. I think she got the ick because it was starting to remind her of her dad. And I also hear the song much like suffocating. So I also feel like she feels like she was being suffocated in the marriage. Because even though I do see her wanting more kids and I do see her wanting a family, I feel like in the chapter that she was at in this part of her life, she was just trying to figure out who she was. And he was just like, honestly, annoying would be the word that I would use, because I think that she was in a phase where she didn't really want to be in a relationship, but she was kind of in it anyway because she didn't know how to be alone yet. So it's very much giving me Gypsy Rose when she got out of jail. Like, I'm trying to figure out who I am. Let me get a nose job. Let me dye my hair. Let me figure out who the fuck I am. Like, that star card's very telling to me. Like, I will throw money at whatever I need to disconnect from whatever doesn't serve me. So for once, her money getting taken away from her, sort of, is actually doing her good. Yeah, Queen of Cups is reversed. I don't think that she was... I do think she's embarrassed about the divorce because it's like, oh, I fucked up again. But she holds herself to an impossible standard because of the people that surrounded her. But I do feel like the demise of this relationship was, and this isn't necessarily his fault either, but she wasn't really emotionally invested because she was so lost within herself. I mean, if you've ever been in that level of trauma, can relate. Trying to love somebody and start a new life is damn near impossible because you have all these triggers and all these wounds. So I'm not going to say that it was completely healthy, because I can see Britney like snapping at Sam if like he were to poke a specific wound, like say for instance something regarding money, and it reminds her of her father. Because I keep hearing the song You Remind Me by Usher, but it's not giving me an ex, it's giving me more the family and the triggers that I need to work through. See, this is the problem with like mutable energy when they're going through some shit. I'm not throwing shade. I'm a Gemini moon. I go through shit, okay? But I just see Britney being a little bit wishy-washy because it's like, I think that, here's the problem with Britney. When people come on too strong, she'll get the ick because it's going to remind her of all the people that love bombed her but didn't mean well. So think her father, think everybody ever, Justin Timberlake, for instance, K-Fed, all of that. She's been love bombed and gaslit. She's dealt with narcissists. So I think, I don't think Sam was a bad guy, but I mean, her bar was already to the floor. So the bar was astronomically low. So, you know, if I was to read a regular couple, I'd be like, your bar's really low, girl. Like, this guy ain't shit. Like, you need to bring it up. But for her, it was already kind of a step up. It's kind of giving me the vibe of, like, someone who's dated someone who's physically abusive and then moves up to someone who's only emotionally abusive. Like, you did a good job, but, like, let's keep going. You know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe. But I do feel like she does miss him. I'm going to be honest. But I don't feel like it's a missing thing in terms of like I made the wrong choice or I wish you were still with me. It's kind of just giving me more the vibe of like I don't really know how to be on my own and this scares me. So I think she's afraid of what comes next, to be honest, because I see her being like, do I really want to do music again now that the dad thing's over with? Do I really want to consider dating again now that me and Sam are done and I'm in a different place now? I see her like really reflecting and being like, how do I make sure that what's happened to me never happens to me again? So I think the problem with Britney, and it's a lot of people do it. I've done it. Anybody who never got love as a child and had to settle for being needed will do this, where we will go back to things that make us comfortable because we already know what to expect, not because it's a healthy relationship, not because we love that person, but when we've been brought up in chaos, when chaos is all we know, than someone like Britney, for instance. Sam wasn't that bad compared to someone like Justin, who to this day can't even apologize. Granted, he was a child, so I understand, but like, bro, own that you hurt her. Like that's all you have to take ownership of. But that's the thing. These people that she's been surrounded by are entitled as fuck, and so she's scared, but she's afraid to put herself out there because she's afraid that she'll get trapped again. So it's like, maybe humoring things from the past will be useful because it's safe. It's giving me the vibe of going back to your ex because it's safe. You know what chaos comes from that ex. That's my only concern with Britney. It's not that she's not over him. It's more like it's a comfort. It's like, I know what to expect from this guy. He's not going to tell me what to do. He doesn't have that type of control. He can say that he wants to do something, but at the end of the day, I'm in control. But I do feel her being like I'm hearing her song again, My Weakness Caused You Pain, and the song's My Sorry. This girl is so self-reflective. The way that she knows her part that she plays in any downfall of anything. But the problem is her part to play in the downfall of anything is probably like 30%, whereas everybody else is like 70% the reason. So she doesn't really blame them because she's always trying to be the bigger person. But here's the thing. There's a difference between being the bigger person and being someone that gets all walked on. And Britney's the type where she keeps getting walked on because she's being the bigger person, seeing someone's potential, but they're not living up to that potential. So I could almost see, like, she might make posts. Hasn't she already, where she said she missed Sam or something like that? I believe it, but it's more of a, I'm scared to be alone. I don't know who I am. This next chapter is very scary. Yeah, the daddy issue is a big one. And then it's like, how do I get back involved in work? I do feel like he reminded her of her dad to some extent. Like I said, I don't think it was that bad. It kind of gives me more of the vibe of like with this Knight of Swords, it's like, hey, babe, have you thought of trying this out? Or, you know, can I go on SNL and mention you about this? It's just something to do with like work-related shit. And then her feeling like, you're trying to make money off of me. So it was triggering that wound with her father. But I'm not seeing anything here about her being abusive towards him. I'm not seeing anything either about him cheating or anything like that. At least not in terms of the breakdown of the relationship. This feels more like you're comfortable, but you're not what I want. And you give me the ick because you remind me of my father. Yeah, I think with this settlement, again, it was another thing of like, fuck it. I don't care what you want. Take the money. Just get out of my face. You know what I mean? Because like, I know they said there was a prenup, but like she might have paid like his apartment or whatever the fuck. Again, with her, it's just like, I'll sign whatever paperwork dotted line I have to so that you moochers get the fuck off my dick. Like, that's kind of the vibe. I'm going to be honest with you. I think for this settlement, again, it was just another like, oh, but how am I going to survive? Like, coming from Sam's perspective. And then Britney being like, what's up? Like, honestly, Britney would be a good therapist for fucking Taylor. Because Britney's the type that'll be like, it's going to take $500,000 to get rid of you. Here's the $500,000. Bye. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Whereas Taylor will be like, you want to fuck me out of $5,000? I'll see you in court. You know what I mean? Like, Britney's kind of almost bordering on pushover. But when you have that level of money, why not throw it at the problem to get rid of someone you don't want to deal with? But my only concern is because she's so wishy-washy, these people that she's throwing money at to get rid of, she has moments where she doesn't want to get rid of them because she sees the brighter side and she sees the bigger picture. So I feel like her head is kind of exhausting, if I'm being honest with you. Back deck. Yeah, I think he probably convinced her, like, oh, how am I going to survive without you? Blah, 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 blah. You know, but that magician card is like, how am I going to create anything for myself? I was dependent on you. I was too busy taking care of you. I think he gaslit her. I'm going to be honest. I think she even pointed out possibilities of choices that he had. Like, you already have your name in this. Like, why don't you start doing workout shit? And I just see him being another little prissy bitch. It's reminding me of, oh my God, who was that couple? Oh my God, now I'm going to have a moment where, like, he kicked her while she was down. Is it Whitney Houston? Whitney Houston's a good example, though, if it's not who I'm thinking of. Because Whitney was damaged by relationships in the industry. But I don't think that's who I was thinking about. Hold up. Bro, I was thinking about K-Fed. The way that man is so not relevant that I couldn't even think of him. Yeah, it's kind of giving me that. Like, you're just kind of, I think Sam's just another mooch. It's like, oh no, we're not together now. How am I going to support myself? Like, bitch, how did you support yourself before dating? But I just see her just being like, whatever money I got to throw at the problem. So, since we have more time, I want to take a look at why she called her sister a bitch, because that's curious. But again, I feel like Britney as a whole, she's got a really big heart, and I feel like what the problem is, and if you're an empath or if you're someone who's a giver and you've been in this position, I think what her problem is she just hasn't learned boundaries yet, and she doesn't know how to love herself because no one's ever really allowed her to learn that lesson. And so her problem is she keeps making excuses for people because it's like, I understand, I get it. And here's the thing, you can understand, but at the end of the day, if people's words aren't matching their actions, then they're not worth your time. And for Britney, it's like to cut people off, especially family. For her, that's like morally repugnant. It's like, I can't do that. Family is everything. But sometimes family isn't blood. Sometimes family is people that adopt you into their life. It's best friends. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you're going to continue to see Britney be very wishy-washy. And like 1 minute she'll hate her dad, and then 1 minute it'll be like, happy birthday, Pops, wishing you well, or like, oh, he's in the hospital, send prayers. I just think what you're seeing is her kind of learning how to honor her own emotions. She's going to have days where she wants to be the bigger person. I totally understand this energy. But then she's going to have days where the universe triggers her, and then she's going to snap. And I think that's why she keeps deleting emotional posts, because those emotions are coming from a place of I'm in pain, but then she gets embarrassed, and then she has this like, it's weird because her family doesn't really respect her, but at the end of the day she feels like she has to be kind to her family. She can't disrespect them, and I don't agree, you know, but it is what it is. So now we're going to take a look at why she said anything. Why she called Jamie a bitch? Like, where was that coming from? So, as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. If you enjoy this reading, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here so that all these hours of work I put in, I just hope that you guys enjoy it. But let's see what's going on with her and Jamie. Huh. Okay, so I do think this was a moment where she was just kind of in her feelings. But this reads to me like you're lazy like your father. That's what this reads to me like. It's because I don't remember the full quote, but it was something about that show that she was on where she decided she wanted to leave. That's to give me the vibe of like your father taught you how to be a victim and not actually commit to anything that you say you're going to do. So I think that she was annoyed because it's like, do you even understand what I've been through, and you can't even manage to sit through a reality series? Like, you're weak like our father. Like, that's kind of the vibe here. I think that it triggered her because think about all the things that she's had to do that she had no choice, right? She had to do tours with no choice, and we didn't even know, right? She had to give up a baby, no choice. They forced her to be on birth control, no choice. So she sees her sister on a reality show that she signed up for to reframe the narrative of Jamie Lynn Spears, and then she, from what I'm hearing from Britney, is the P word, a puss. And I think it just kind of pissed her off because it just re-triggered, like, you get away with everything. You could do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You can quit anything. And I think this triggered a wound within her where it's like, I've always had to work really hard and you don't have to do shit. Because, like, I'm being drawn to the justice scales and how this one person's getting, like, crumbs and this person's getting nothing. So it's like, I do think there was a battle in the family where it was very likely that the parents pinned the daughters against each other to see who would make the most money, to see who would be the most profitable. And even though Jamie ended up being the less profitable, it's still like, you need to make us money. So I think for a while, these two have been pinned against each other, and then it just manifested as, we already did the deep dive on Jamie, so we know why she's so distraught. But I think Britney gets pissed because she's the type where she's had to take it and she didn't fight back. Whereas Jamie, the moment she's not interested in something, she'll ditch. And so I feel like Britney just thinks that she's a little weak would be the word that I would use. Just like your father. That's the vibe I'm getting. You're just like your father. You want all the accolades, but you don't want to put the work in to do so. That was the ick. That was the hang up. You want to make money. You want to be important. You want to create some sort of foundation, but when shit gets hard, you bow out. That's the vibe. Yeah, I think Britney just kind of had a moment where she just kind of snapped because it was like, it must be nice. Must be nice to be able to quit something when I never get to do that. Must be nice. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Yeah, it's like, I think Britney's kind of in a vibe of get over it. Like, you don't, and I don't like, you know, comparing traumas because I read Jamie. I have way more empathy for her now. But Britney's just kind of in this headspace of like, get over it. Like, we both struggled and you can either move forward or you can always pretend to be the victim. And I just think it triggers her because Jamie's a lot like her dad. And so that's how Britney responded. Like, I wish you guys could see me right now. The way I cannot get comfortable sitting down. I can't get comfortable in my chair. Like, I just think that it's just, this is how spirituality works, y'all. I mean, all these mirrors are showing Britney all of her triggers so that she can face them and empower herself. I think that she also, yeah, with that Eight of Swords is very much like, you put yourself in this position. You're not a victim. Like, just fucking, just run the course. Like, that's the vibe. I think that this seems pretty black and white to me, to be honest with you. Unless, Spirit, is there anything else about their relationship in general? This is almost kind of giving me the vibe of like, I don't know how involved the mother really was, but it's kind of giving me the vibe of like, maybe Britney kind of unintentionally became the mom of Jamie Lynn. Probably just, you know, big sister playing the mom role because mom was busy trying to please the father or whatever. But it's almost like when your kid fails you. Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like, I've tried my best to nurture you and help you throughout what we've been going through, but you choose to be a victim. You choose to see life as difficult. You don't break through obstacles. You cry about them. You get stuck. And I just, again, it's just another like, you're giving me the ick, Jamie. You're giving me the ick. Yeah, and it's like a public embarrassment too. Like, how could you drop out of this? You look stupid. That's the vibe. It's like you could have competed, but you were weak. Like, that's the vibe. I feel like this one's pretty black and white. Yeah, it's kind of giving me the vibe like, must be nice to say no to financial opportunities because your dad's not riding you. Like, to see the conflict of other people, and then this would be someone who manipulates. So it's kind of giving me the vibe of like, my father made me build a whole fucking legacy without even so much as speaking on my pain, but here you are, oh, it's too hard, and then you quit. You're a little weak bitch. Like, that's the vibe. I think Britney was just triggered because she didn't have those options. If the roles were reversed and her father signed her up for that show, there would be no fucking way that she would have been allowed to quit. And that's why she's upset. Because it's like, why don't we have the same rules? Why did we get a different version of the same father? I just think that she's bitter because she has every right to be. So that one seems pretty self-explanatory. Is there anything else we can cover? I guess we could wrap this up with like any just general messages about Britney, the future Britney, what she would want us to know that maybe she doesn't want to share on Instagram, or maybe she shared and deleted. Like, we'll just take a look. Final messages. What would Britney want us to know? Any upcoming information of any sort. All right. So final messages. What do we need to know about Britney? How's she doing? Any final Britney stuff? Yeah, like I said, I think she's going through it right now. I mean, she keeps coming up as the Queen of Cups in reverse. I honestly think right now she might be in the anger phase. It's giving more of like a emotionally depleted, trying to figure out where I am in life, trying to figure out who I am, where do I go from here? Because I see like a book and I'm seeing the chapters closing, and I'm seeing her father's face chapter closing. I'm seeing Sam in the chapter closing, and it's almost like, who am I now? Yeah, it's like all these cycles are completing. It's like, I just fucking said that. And it's like, I think she's also embarrassed about, like, again, how the media continues to portray her. And it's like, how do I come back from this? I think because she's so hard on herself, even though she sees how much people support her, because the media and the people that are behind it are down to get her, it's like she doesn't really know where to go from here. Because it's like, I think she wants to create music again. I think she wants to be the it girl again. I just think she's so scarred by paparazzi and by people selling stories and lying about her. I mean, imagine if it was your parents that did it for so long, and the thing that you love kind of comes with pain. You know what I mean? So I think right now she's just trying to figure out who she is. Yeah, I think, I mean, we're still in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, so I wouldn't be shocked if, like, the reason that she was in the hotel is chances are she's reflecting on a lot right now, because the Six of Cups is, like, past memories. The Empress could be mom, but it's also giving me, like, me, where I've come from, my mother, generational trauma, stuff like that. I think she's being very reflective right now. I think she's also, like, reanalyzing relationships that she's had, because Queen and King of Cups, those are counterparts. So it's like, what does love look like to me now? What does the idea of happily ever after really mean for me? Who am I, and how do I recreate who I truly am so that I can end up with someone who's actually right for me, instead of dating all these men that, you know, only want me for... Why do I keep hearing the goose and the gander? I don't know what the hell that means, but I keep hearing it. Goose is bigger than the gander. I don't remember. Anyway, but it's just very reflective. Like, I do think she wants to date again. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of giving me a codependency feel a little bit. I think she's afraid of being alone, because I think she just has all this pain. Like, she needs to, I think she's already doing it, but she needs to continue to cry that shit out, be angry, let those emotions flow. Maybe not on Instagram, maybe a little bit more in your journal, but hey, to each their own. Feel your feelings, girl. I support it. Yeah, look at that. It's like I just said that. Her speaking her truth and realizing what her wants and needs are moving forward. The work card's in reverse, y'all. Yeah, I think for her, it's about, because I'm hearing Trump going, like, gotta clean out the swamp. So it's kind of giving me the vibe of, I need to make sure the people that manipulated me in the work industry are all gone and can't do that again before I decide if I'm going to get myself back out there. Because I do feel like she has an itch towards getting back out there, because that's Britney, right? But her hang up is, who's going to try to fuck me over? Who's going to come under the guise of caring, but in reality just want a meal ticket? Like, she's scorned. She's scorned by men. She's scorned by the industry. She's just scorned by everybody. I also feel like she thinks that she's hung up on Sam. I don't agree that that's actually the emotion that she's feeling. I think, again, she just doesn't really know how to be alone. And I feel like Sam was a safer choice compared to what she's dated in the past. Because Sam is a water sign. And though I do feel her reevaluating all of her connections, because that Six of Cups is very telling to me. It's like, let me reevaluate what... I feel like Britney's in her reflective era. It's giving me like, let me look at everybody I've ever dated. Let me look at every connection I ever thought was healthy, and let me see where I failed myself so that it never happens again. So I do like this energy. It's very evolved. I do think she still wants to... Okay, now I got two messages. I do think she does want to start music eventually. I think she does want to come back. I think she's getting an itch for it. And I do think that there have been people reaching out to her in the industry that are like, Britney, come on. Like, you know you're going to do amazing. Like, you know that people are going to love you. Everybody loves you, Britney. Like, it's time. It's time to get back out there. But I just don't think she's fully ready yet. I think she wants to find herself first. But I do see her getting an itch. So I don't know. It might come out sooner than we expect. It really just, the problem is it's a free will thing. So does she want to make music again? Yes. Are people reaching out to her? See, now my throat's starting to go. It's been 53 minutes. Now it's starting to happen. I think she's afraid. Again, it's like people manipulate. Think about the King of Pentacles. That's a wealthy businessman. So someone that's really well off coming up to her and being like, we need to put you back on the map. That's immediately going to give her the ick. It's going to remind her of her dad, a wound that she still hasn't healed. It's going to take a while. And so I think she has a hang up about men in general. I mean, Sam Asghari is right there. He's a Pisces, I believe. But I think between all of the change in her life, I think she's just looking for... It's kind of giving me like reflective / gonna be acting like I'm in my 20s era. I just don't think she's really worried about making new roots quite yet, simply because she's afraid. I think she's afraid of men, people of power. She doesn't want to let that happen ever again. I think when she knows it's safe to put herself back out there, then she might. It's got to be the right deal. It's got to be the right circumstances. I wouldn't be shocked if she is already writing music. It's kind of giving me the vibe of like playing my piano at home. Maybe she's just playing old music. I don't even know. Maybe it's not even her music. But it's giving me the vibe of like, it's got to be the right contract. It's got to be the right people. It's got to be something where it's so ironclad that I know that I'm safe. It's kind of giving me the vibe of like a Taylor Swift type of agreement, because it seems like Taylor can do whatever she wants, and that's no shade. It just seems like she has way more wiggle room than most people in the industry, and I don't really know where that comes from. But I see Britney just being like, when the right deal approaches me, then I'll think about it. But until then, I'm just trying to figure out who I am. Yeah, I think right now she's just looking at things from a different perspective, trying to figure out where she is supposed to head next. I still think she has a hang up about having a man that's going to save her. I think she still has that belief in the fairy tale, the happily ever after, the Notebook's coming to my mind. I think she still wants the man, the kids, the white picket fence. She's very old school with that. So if she were to meet the right guy, and listen, I'm not rooting for Mr. Solis or whatever his name is, but if that happened, based on the past reading I did of him, I wouldn't be mad about it. It seemed like he cared about her. But I just think that she's really hung up on like, you know, I'm approaching a certain age. I still want a kid that I can actually raise because of the whole K-Fed shit and Justin. And I just feel her reflecting and figuring out like, where do I go from here? I just see a lot of doors closing. I'm seeing a bunch of 10s in my mind. So it's like things are ending. The dad situation ended. Sam Asghari ended. So now it's like clean slate. Where do I go from here? So what's the back deck? Yeah, I feel like right now she's trying to find a healthy balance between getting her power back, but also living a life free and rebellious and reckless. So I think that's what we caught with the whole ambulance thing. I do believe her story about the ankle. I do, because I just keep being drawn back to the story of my ankle. So I do feel that that's true. I think she's trying to find a balance between stepping back into her power and being that bitch, but having control, because you're in the masculine energy, right? No one's going to tell you what to do. You're in the masculine energy. She wants everything to be fair for her. And she also wants days where she can act out. It's kind of giving me Doja Cat energy. It's like, I don't want to just be the pop princess that's perfect. I want to live my life. I want to be a multifaceted individual, and I want people to respect that. And honestly, power to her, because that's a really healthy way to go. In terms of worrying about her, I don't. I am not worried about her. It seems like she's doing everything she needs to be doing. And I think that because her years were robbed from her, let her get drunk at, 50 years old if she wants to. Let her dress up in a thong and hooker boots at 60 and party at a country dance. Who cares? Like, this girl got that robbed from her. So, yeah. I feel the need really quick to end this with Dark Mirror. Did I start this with Dark Mirror? Because I'm drawing a blank. I don't feel like... Oh, I did. Okay. So, I want to look at Dark Mirror in terms of... How do I word this? What to expect for energies of Britney in the future. That's what we're going to end this with, and then we'll call it a day. All right, so we're going to end this with future energies of Britney. See what's going to be going on for her. I'm going to be honest with you. I pre-shuffle so that we get a solid shuffle, but you don't have to sit through it. Fragmentation popped out of the deck 3 times as I was shuffling, so that's concerning. But let's look at this. See what we can get. What's going on with the future of Britney? If it shows up again. Okay, yeah, like I said, I think she's going to be doing a lot of healing. Why is this? What'd I say? Atonement in the reverse. Okay, so... that sucks. Okay, I think for right now, Britney's on a healing journey. So she might be able to write bangers out of it, because this always reminds me of the Swords, which reminds me of thoughts and communication. So it's possible that she might end up writing music, because I do see like someone at a piano writing music. So maybe she might write like different, I mean, she's written songs of sadness, because I keep thinking of the song every time. But it's kind of giving me the vibe of like, if she is going to come out with another CD eventually, it would probably be like telling her story, but like a therapeutic, not giving up too many details type of way, like stuff about control, stuff about relationships that didn't work out. I think it would be like a expose type of CD. But with Today for Tomorrow in the reverse, that pretty much tells me like I'm right here, right now. I'm not really focused on the future, which honestly, that's a good energy to have, especially considering that it's spring and we're approaching summer. Britney needs to learn how to have fun. She needs to learn how to live, right? And with fragmentation, I literally told you guys that popped out 3 times before I even touched the record button, and then it pops out again. So I think right now what Britney's trying to do is bring back all of the parts of her soul. I know that sounds corny, but if you want to put that in a psychological perspective, she is feeling her feelings. She's crying. She's getting angry, because those are the emotions that she suppressed in the past. And when you suppress those emotions, they don't go anywhere. They store into your body. So right now what she's doing, yeah, because my throat just keeps giving out. I think she's owning her feelings. I think she is owning the time that she felt that she lost. So again, the partying and, you know, all these videos of her dressing risque, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that she's just all of a sudden a hoe. That's not what's going on. This girl has never had control over her own body. She has not had body autonomy. And when you don't have body autonomy, or if you grew up in a family, from personal experience, where, you know, there was a religious bias, and so like you can't show your body, you can't do this, you can't do that. When you finally realize that you're in control of your own life, you're going to do things that will seem a little reckless, and because everybody knows her as the girl next door, they're getting triggered and they think that there's something wrong with her. But what you're actually seeing is Britney learning who Britney really is. Britney's learning who Britney is outside of her father, outside of being, you know, #1 star, worshipped, loved. Like, she can be that too, yes, but she's trying to figure out, who am I outside of my career? Who am I outside of connections? Who am I, period? She never got to figure that out because everybody was telling her who to be for her. So I just see her doing probably more of what she's been doing, videos of her just dancing. I feel like for her, that is a way of healing. It's her embodying her inner child. It's her feeling free, which is something she's never felt before. So right now, I just don't think she's very concerned with the future, because it's like, let me just focus on today. I'm finally rid of my father. I'm finally rid of Sam, though I do think she has moments where it's like, oh, I kind of want him back, but it's more of a comfort thing. It's giving me like comfort teddy bear that's dirty and should have been thrown out, but you got an emotional attachment to it, even though you know it's not good for you. That's kind of the Sam Asghari energy. I don't think he's the worst that she's ever dated, but it just doesn't serve her. I'm seeing Wheel of Fortune in my mind's eye. It's just another opportunist. But it just seems like this chapter is about her. I think that she's going to continue to follow this whole meditation thing. I think she's like spiritual now, right? So I think she's going to continue to lean on that, lean on just being in the present moment and having fun and trying to bring herself back to feeling whole. That's the energy. And then Atonement in the reverse. That's just kind of giving me a vibe, a multi-message. I'm hearing self-sabotage. So again, we might see more things coming out that's going to look like she's mentally unhinged. But in reality, what she's just doing is things that she never got to do. So just kind of give her a break when these TMZ bullshits come out, because you're not getting the full story. She's living like a 20-year-old because she never got the chance to. So it'd be one thing if she was someone older that is, you know, death gripping her youth. This is someone who was an adult when she was like 10. You know what I mean? So let her dress sexy and let her dance and run on a pole and flirt with boys. Let her do that. She never got the chance to do it in her 20s. In her 20s, she was too busy trying to convince Justin Timberlake to have the child that he put into her body. You know what I mean? Like, this girl has been through some shit. Leave her alone. Like, I just keep seeing the Crocker dude. Leave Britney alone. She's just learning who she is. And when you learn who you are in your 20s, people expect you to fuck up. Well, this is her reliving her 20s, so let her fuck up. She's going to. But she's okay. It's not a mental health thing. all these emotions coming up, they're getting released, which is exactly what we want, because if she wasn't releasing them, then that's how you become someone like her father, someone who's really angry, so you take it out on somebody else. She's not going to do that because she's releasing it. Look at how this is like water in her hands. She's healing. So this is her way of healing. Let it happen. And 4 is home. So she heals a lot in her home. I think she gets a lot of healing from just sharing her little clips of dancing with you. I feel like that's her way of feeling like she's still doing what inspires her. So just keep supporting her. Yeah, I think she's just trying to figure out what actually makes her happy now that doesn't require her to sell herself short or to, because with I'm being drawn to like the bondage and how like it's on the neck, which is kind of reminding me of like an ownership, and the 3 reduces to work. So it's like, I don't want that to happen to me again. How do I live for me? It's kind of giving me the vibe of somebody who like wants to have their own record label, or just, again, making sure you have the perfect deal where you can never be abused again. This woman is scarred. She's scarred. It's kind of funny that she dated Sam Asghari, because like it's almost like his last name told what she was going through. But I'm going to leave it there, besties. I still am not worried about Britney. I do think that her father got more money than he deserved. I feel like Sam Asghari probably got more money than he deserved, but I think it was per Britney being like, because I'm seeing this. I'm seeing her go like this. It's like, I just want to wash my hands of the past. I don't want to be attached to it anymore. I want to enjoy this next chapter of my life. So did she get screwed financially? A little bit, but I mean, in the end, isn't it worth? Because what I'm seeing is like continuances. So I feel like if they didn't get their way, they probably would have dragged the court proceedings out, just like they've been dragging her shit out. So I think for her, it was a no-brainer. It's like, I'll throw $500,000 to get you to leave me the fuck alone. So I think this next chapter is going to be Britney figuring out who Britney really is without everybody else telling her who she is. And that's actually pretty awesome. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to have you. Let me know what you guys want for next week's videos in the community polls. If you want to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website's in the description box. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are in my description box. The decks I use, everything you need in the description box. The videos that I mentioned in here will also be in the description box. So I will see you guys next time. I hope that you have a great Friday or whenever it is that you're watching this. Love you, besties. Stay free, and I will see you soon.